The Mexican Revolution, which began in 1910, was one of the most significant social and political movements in Latin America during the 20th century. It was not merely a struggle for power, but a profound social upheaval aimed at ending decades of inequality, injustice, and authoritarian rule. It all began with widespread discontent toward the regime of Porfirio Diaz, who had governed for over 30 years under a model of economic progress that came at a high social cost. Land was concentrated in the hands of a few, peasants were exploited, indigenous communities were dispossessed, and urban workers lacked basic rights. In response, Maduro, a young politician with democratic ideals, called for an armed uprising through his Plan of San Luis, marking the beginning of the revolution on November 20, 1910. From that point forward, Mexico entered a decade of intense armed conflict, with the emergence of iconic figures such as Emiliano Zapata, a peasant leader from the south who demanded land and justice under the slogan, "Land and Freedom," and Pancho Villa, the northern revolutionary who championed the rights of workers and peasants. Their battles were not only military but also deeply social, aiming to transform land ownership, dismantle the large estates, and return property to local communities. The revolution brought about fundamental changes. Politically, it weakened the old dictatorial order and opened the way to a more democratic system. In 1917, a new constitution was enacted, considered one of the most progressive of its time, recognizing labor rights, public education, agrarian reform, and the separation of church and state. Socially, the peasant and labor movements gained strength, and although not all promises were fulfilled immediately, the Mexican people began to play a more active role in the country's political life. The Mexican Revolution was not a linear or orderly process. It was chaotic, complex, and painful. But it also marked the beginning of a modern Mexico, one more aware of social justice, equality, and citizen participation. Its legacy lives on not only in history books but in the collective memory of an entire nation.